back to our channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's not a POV video, but a post-process editing video, kind of going through what I do after I go shoot a POV or do any kind of street photography. So a few people actually commented that they wanted to see a video of my post-process, and I am not by any means like a professional, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I do. So typically when I get home, I plug my SD card straight into my computer right away and just go through all the photos. So I like to go through them just off of the SD card, and then I highlight or label which ones I think are the best composition and lighting wise, like just right out of the camera. And they're all RAW files too. I don't shoot in JPEG, I only shoot in RAW. So after I go through those, they're all gonna go to the top because I'll label them. And then what I do is I just take those that I favorited and I move them over to an external hard drive. And that hard drive has all of my photos that I've taken from every time I've gone out to shoot. I just keep them all there in one place. Okay, so now I'm gonna import a photo that I took when I was in Turkey and show you kind of how I edit it and how I edit it for the POV video I did. I thought this would be a good video or a good photo to use because it's has some really good colors in it, and also it's really easy to like overdo a photo that has really bright colors. See, the balloons are already super bright, so you have to be careful when editing. So I'm just gonna adjust it a little because it is a little off-centered. Sometimes when I'm shooting, I don't pay attention to if the lines are straight, so I do this a lot in post. So that looks pretty good. No, it doesn't. It's still pretty good. Okay, so once I have that all cropped, I'll crop it a little more. There we go. I will do a little bit of adjusting. You can see how he's kind of dark and the background's kind of overexposed, so we'll just start by bringing it down a little bit, bringing the contrast down just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use the brush tool to select certain spots to make brighter, so I'm definitely going to make him a bit brighter. And I always hit the show selected mask overlay so that way I can see exactly what I am highlighting with the brush tool. So I'm just going to get his face and just his whole body basically. And then you can zoom in and also get a little bit more of a accurate highlight. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to take that off now and then adjust as needed. See, it automatically adjusts the exposure for you, but you can also go ahead and undo whatever it does. And then I'm gonna highlight it a little bit, the contrast down. I like to use the dehaze, but I try not to use it too much because sometimes it can overdo on a photo. And then I definitely want to add some saturation to him because he looks a little bit dull. Just gotta go back and highlight that area. There we go, he's looking much brighter. I forgot his hand right here. There we go. Okay, so now that he's all good, I'm gonna hit done and then move to the background. So, like I did before, I'm gonna do show selected mask overlay and kind of just run through this whole area of the Galata Tower. Maybe I'll do a little bit of the sky too and see if it brings out any color. So the other little circle that's around the brush tool, that's the feathering, I'll show you. It's right here, and you can make it thicker or thinner depending on how you want the adjustment to look, but I try to keep it like at a not too thin, not too thick, because otherwise if you make it too sharp, it will you'll really be able to notice the color, the differentiating colors and adjustments that you do, and you don't want that to be obvious or anything that you made some adjustments. Zoom in a little bit. Also, I have a setting on here on the brush tool where it will kind of group things, kind of like how Photoshop will select things based on their colors, so it won't, if I accidentally like go up here a little bit, it won't add that as part of the mask overlay, because of it will kind of like know what you're trying to highlight and mask. Okay. So now I'm just gonna move over here and take some of the adjustments down a little bit so it's too overexposed. So I'm gonna lower the exposure. Actually, first I'm gonna uncheck the spots and then lower the exposure, bring up the clarity, and dehaze it a little bit. See, so now you can kind of see a little bit more of the tower in the background. It's not as overexposed anymore. You can even see the people at the top. Okay, so now that I've done the overlays, the masking overlays and everything, I'm going to hit done and kind of look at the photo as a whole. So now you can kind of see he's brighter, the background's a little darker, everything's a little more leveled out now. So this is when I'll typically go over to my presets and just play around with them and see if any of them look good, if I like any of them. See, for example, this is a really good one. This is Fuji 01, but it's a little too contrasted, a little too bright for me and for what I think the photo should be. Yeah, these are a little too bright. But also the cool thing is that you can select some of the presets and then make adjustments after you have the preset on. So if it does look a little too bright, you can take down the brightness or the saturation. So I also have some of these Peter McKinnon presets on here too that I like, but these are not working for this photo. So I'm gonna just go ahead and we'll just select one. We'll do Fuji 03. That's not too crazy. So it's a little bright. Bring it down. No. That's fine. It's a little oversaturated in my opinion. Bring the saturation down a little bit. Sometimes if you move the arrow too much, it can be a little extreme, the adjustment. I don't look at the numbers or anything like that. I probably should, but I am not a pro editor by any means. This is just what I do and what I like to do. There are a few areas of him that look a little over edited, like his stomach area here and his face look a little too bright from the mask overlay I did. So I'm gonna take the brush tool, I'm gonna select the point where I edited him. I'm gonna turn this back on
Actually, I'll turn it off, and then I'm gonna get the erase, and I'm just gonna erase this part right there. Oops. Actually, what I'm gonna do is just take the exposure down. There we go. So now he's not too highlighted. He was a little bright before. There, now you can see his face a little bit better, and you can see the tower better.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna just pull up the before and after so you can kind of see what it looked like before and what adjustments that you made, so you can get a better idea of like how much editing you did put on the photo. So this is a little bit of a brighter photo that I would use in my opinion, but I've loved playing with the presets, so I'm just gonna roll with it and I'm gonna go ahead and export it. So I'm just gonna export it now to my desktop. So I'll do assemble 1 and then export as a JPEG, and yeah, and that is about it. I hope you enjoyed watching that edit. I am by no means a professional editor, and I still have a lot to learn when it comes to Lightroom. I know there's so much that you can do with like the curves and the color grading and everything like that, but that was just a simple quick edit that I do if I'm not really trying to get into it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned because the next video is going to either be a POV of the downtown in my hometown, or it's going to be a what's in my camera bag, and I'll show you my new camera.